Penguin was in Gotham, his home city. As he was getting more and more territory, he started to get greedy. As Penguin was known as the mob boss of the area, everyone was terrified of Joker, and Bane put up one heck of a fight from time to time. But Penguin, he was the mastermind. He was the true person behind the mafia. However, with new villains coming and going, eventually he would be betrayed. As Penguin would open his umbrella against Batman, it would blow up, sabotage, causing him to be destroyed. As then he woke up in the Hazbin universe. As Penguin looked around, he saw that the sky was red, and he looked in a puddle. He was a literal penguin, kind of obvious for this. And his umbrella, it fused into part of his body, as he felt all of its powers. As he can turn his hands into guns, as he can fly. I mean, he shouldn't because he's a penguin, but it works, I guess. And he had other powers too. He can skate in his belly miles fast. As he began to walk around, he would ask around where he was, as eventually one of the sinners would laugh at him. One of the sinners would straight up look at Penguin and laugh at him and say, "Such a cute little guy. Hey, maybe you need to go home with me," as he would grab and rub him in a little flirtatious way. As he thought Penguin was weak, that he can have his way with him, Penguin's arm would turn into a weapon and blast him to the ground. As the other sinners left, he would then sigh and walk off. They had no respect for him. In Gotham, people feared him. Even though he was small, he had a reputation. He was crafty, smart, and ruthless. Now, he's gonna have to build a new reputation, and fast. As Penguin needed to build a reputation, he took some jobs here and there, trying to build up his name. At first, people laughed at him. They saw how little he looked, how weak he looked. But over time, Penguin would build up a strong reputation, until he finally thought it was time to become an overlord. He had two different options: join an overlord and co-own with him, which may be easier because he has somewhat of a reputation now. But he didn't want to get taken advantage of, and he wanted to show he held all the cards. So the only other option was to take one out. Since all of hell's been claimed, he had many different people to take out, many different ways to prove himself. As Penguin wanted more power, he had many different overlords he could take on, but each one had alliances. Everything was complicated. He figured it'd be best if he worked for one, then overthrew him. So he would look for the most arrogant, the most pompous, the easiest to manipulate. And that man was Val. But there was one problem. Val specialized in feel-good business. Penguin did too, but working for someone like that, with that end, he needs to make sure he's not just below him, and he needs to have a consistency plan. As Penguin looked for someone who hated him, and he eventually found someone. His name was Angel. As Penguin would meet up with Angel, Angel would say, "Ah, a cute little guy. You're interested in me? Usually I like them big and strong, but cute and adorable? Well, they're fun too." As Penguin would say no. As he would hold out an angelic dagger, he would say, "I want to make a deal with you." Angel would say, "Deal? Sorry, I already made a deal, I can't." As suddenly Penguin would drop an angelic dagger and say, "Use that when you can. If not, you'll be under him forever." As then he left. Angel was confused. Was this a test? He was decided to keep it just in case. As then Penguin would knock on Val's door. As he would open it, Penguin would have bodyguards just in case. As he said, "I hear you've been having problems with your people running away. I can snatch them up for you for a small fee. And me and my men can protect your clubs." Bees weren't that popular, and they were getting more and more threats. They had good protection, but there's no such thing as too much. And it's true that some overlords have been stealing their workers. They usually get them back, but it takes time. Val would look Penguin up and down and say, "You're cute. You know, if you worked with me, you can." Penguin would say, "Not interested, for now at least. Maybe if we work together a bit, I might change my mind." Saying this hurt Penguin. He would never want to do anything that nasty and disgusting with Val, but he needed to lie to work his way up. As Val would agree, Penguin would start to work for him. As Penguin agreed to work with Val, Penguin and Val would go on projects together, and Penguin would protect Val's interests. Penguin wanted to wipe him out from the start, but he knew Val was, well, curious about him and scared of him. He knew that he needed to build trust, and he couldn't be the one to do it himself. As he built trust in a relationship with Val, he had an idea, but it sickened him. As Val would look at Penguin excited, Penguin would have to say something. He hoped Angel would snap into it in time, but he didn't really know. But this is his only way to get Val alone. Val was usually with the other V's, but if he could ask for fun, he can get him alone. Penguin would say, "You know, your star Angel looks like a good time. Why don't me, you, and Angel all have a good time together?" Val would say, "That's a good idea." As in, Val, Penguin, and Angel would all go to the same room. As Val would begin to take things off, Penguin would then jump on Val and grab him, and Penguin would say, "It's your time to get revenge." Angel would look at Val and hesitate. Thought about all the pain Val caused him, but maybe he's not good enough to make it on his own. Maybe he deserved the pain. Maybe it wasn't good enough for anything. As he shook, all these thoughts filled his head, as he merely stared at Val. As Val would say, "Let me go, Angel. Save me. You know you want to." As Angel would walk towards Penguin, as Penguin was holding him back, about to lose his grip. As Val would be no more, Angel would plunge his dagger straight through his chest, getting rid of him. As he fell to the floor, Penguin would get up. As Angel felt free, Penguin would say, "You know you can continue to work for me. No big contract, though. You'll be in control of part of your own money. You'll be rich. And you won't sign anywhere just so you can trust me." Angel would say, "I don't know. You know I'm going to control everything, right? I'm going to need a lot of power and a lot of resources so the V's don't wipe me out. Even if they liked Val, they liked money more. And if I have a lot to offer them, they won't get rid of me. They'll work with me." As Angel would nod as he would agree. As the Penguin himself would continue on with his business, he would take over Val's business, as eventually the V's would want to meet with him. As Fox and Velvet would talk to him, Fox would say, "Why don't we just get rid of you here? Because you need me. I have all of his business. I've changed all of his passwords, all of his sensitive data. And all those people now work and are loyal for me. Without me, they'll just run off. Sure, you could try to put a tight leash on them, but I make sure that all of their contracts binding you to them are gone. So effectively, you need me." As Fox and Velvet would look at each other, Fox wanted to get rid of him, but he needed Penguin, so they would agree to let him stay, as Penguin would take Fox's place. As the Penguin's influence spread, he became more and more famous, as he became like a real overlord, a crime boss, a mob boss, everything Penguin could dream of. However, Angel would go to that hotel a lot, so he had an idea. He saw it could be useful for business. As he went over and knocked on the door, Charlie would go and answer. As the Penguin looked at Charlie, Charlie would say, "Do you want to join the hotel?" "No, I want to make business. You see, I took Val's place, and I gave Angel a much more fair contract. And I want to protect the hotel, send over soldiers. In exchange, Angel would do more jobs for me." As Angel would go to Penguin and agree, as much as dismay as others. Even though they didn't like the Penguin wasn't nearly as abusive as Val. Not because he cared, but because, well, why would he hurt the main merchandise? It doesn't make for good enough work if you do that. As Penguin would protect the hotel, he'd become more and more famous, as he wanted to make his reputation known by fighting Adam himself. As the Penguin would stay at the hotel and train, he would get ready. He would practice with angelic weapons. Eventually, Adam would come down. As he began to destroy the city, he would land and fight Alistair, as then Penguin would slide in his belly and turn his hand into a gun, blasting him. As Adam fell back, he would say, "Are you a literal penguin?" As he would laugh at him, Penguin would say, "Yes, I am, you bloody wanker." As Adam would continue to fight, Penguin and Alistair would just push him further and further back, until he would give in to everything he had, using all of his powers, and that would almost destroy Adam and Alistair and Penguin as they kept on fighting. But eventually Adam would get the upper hand before Lucifer would show up and punch him, and things would continue like in canon. Penguin would become famous as the man that stood up with Adam, the man that got rid of Val, and the man that built his own empire from nothing. Even though he looked cute and cuddly, he was feared and seen as a true overlord. And that's going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with all your friends. I really enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed it too. Making this video is quite fun. I love Gotham and I love DC DC villains have always intrigued me. I grew up with the Penguin, the Joker, Mr. Freeze, Bane, and just all those guys. I even really like Killer Croc. I think Killer Croc has a really cool backstory. And yeah, I also love the Harley Quinn show. If you've not seen the Harley Quinn show, it's kind of, well, it divided fans a little bit. Some people don't like the new season. I love all the seasons. I think the Harley Quinn show is great. And it has a lot of the villains, like, characteristics, but it's also exaggerated in a funny but not disrespectful way. And Harley Quinn is such a great character, and I really love how she broke away from the Joker. The Joker is my favorite DC villain. I remember growing up, there was someone like, "Why can you like the Joker? He's clearly a bad boyfriend to Harley Quinn." I'm like, he's a villain. That's the point. He's a terrible person. You don't like him because he's a good person. You like him because his relationship with Batman. You like him because of his intrigue and his mysteriosity. Not because he is a decent human being. That's the point with the Joker. I don't like him because he's a good person. I like him because, well, he's a villain. You know what I mean? And of course, there are likable villains like Mr. Freeze, who does what he does to save his wife, and other things like that. But sometimes you just like a pure evil villain, and that's what the Joker is. He's pure evil and manipulative. And that's how he got Harley Quinn. And well, her and Poison Ivy's relationship is just beautiful. It's really good for people of us, people who like the same gender. So, for that stuff and for those rights, it's really important to have people to represent. So I really applaud the writers. I know the comics did a purse, but to show it in that show really shows, deep respect and understanding, and really gives us something to look forward to, especially with Disney and all these great companies. I don't know why I said great companies. Especially with all these companies shutting down, well, Pride and stuff like that, which ticks me off. We need stuff like that. So yeah, I should probably stop before I go into a tangent. You all don't want to hear that. I just want to say I love you all so much. Sorry about the whispering. I know you can tell, but I'm on vacation, and I'm spending it with my dad's side of the family, and my room's kind of close to the others. So I'm kind of like whispering throughout this whole video. But yeah, love you all. Hope you have a good day. You mean the world to me. Peace out.